Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. I got Brian Spitz on. I love having Brian on. He's a phenomenal part of our program, bringing great information, very unique content and insight of what's going on in the real estate investment arena. He is the CEO of a company called BigStateHomeBuyers.com. He does a podcast that is an official Price of Business podcast, and of course brings on quality guests and contributes a lot of articles over at priceofbusiness.com, which I talk about them all the time here on the show because they are so good. Brian, as always, good to see you, my friend.
Thank you. Good to see you too, Kevin.
Yeah, and tell us, by the way, a great improvement, facelift, if you will, over at BigStateHomeBuyers.com. You always got to do that to keep these sites relevant, but you made it even much more easier for individuals to navigate. What other big stuff or new things you want the audience to be aware of?
Well, we just wanted to make the webpage a lot cleaner, the content not so heavy, but a little better organized, and so a little more graphics. It was looking text heavy before, so we've worked for a couple of months on giving it a facelift, and we're in the process of doing a little branding changing, and we're going to redo the website entirely, but this is our interim fix.
Getting it started right here. That's great. Tell us about your topic today.
Today I have a guest on the show. I have Kevin Smith. Kevin is a real estate inspector, and he inspects almost every property that I buy personally at Big State, and he inspects a lot of investors' properties. He's really well known in our investment community, and he's here today to talk about things that investors commonly miss in inspections, new investors.
Kevin, welcome to the program. Your company called Forward Assist. Kind of tell us the history of it.
Well, I've been a licensed inspector in the state of Texas for about 23 years now. I specialize in investment properties. About 85% of my business is with investors. And I've done over 14,000 inspections. I like working with investors. I'm an investor myself, and am really tuned into the unique problems and the unique perspective that investors have. I'd like to spend a few minutes this morning talking about the things that inspectors see that investors miss on the properties.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Go right ahead.
Okay, the three most important things or three most expensive things to repair on a property are the foundation, the roof, the heating and the air conditioning equipment. Foundations, everything on the house sits on foundations, so you have to do the foundation repair first. If the foundation is bad, you'll notice there are cracks here and there around the doors and windows. Doors won't work, brick cracks, problems with sloping floors. That all has to be fixed. If you're going to sell it, the buyer's going to notice that, or his inspector's going to notice that, and that can be a big ticket item. So you want to know where the problems are before you go to the closing table, because after you go to the closing table, it's all yours. And any kind of repairs like that, any kind of things that you missed, is going to come out of your lunchbox, because it can only come out of your profit.
Mm-hmm. Brian?
Well, and a lot of people, think that you can just look at the house and take a good look and see if you see any cracks inside or out, and that's their own foundation inspection. And the truth is I've missed things before where I've seen a house and I thought it needed a little adjustment, and then we get a structural engineer in there and I've missed something major. So it's really important to get a full inspection and really have a professional check the foundation before you purchase a property.
Yeah.
Correct?
Oh, yeah, because people aren't trained to do that. The clientele who are buying these houses are investors. They want to do something with their money. They want to grow their investment dollars, and their specialty is in other areas. Inspectors come in. They have training. They have background. They have the standards of practice from the Texas Real Estate Commission that they have to operate under, and it's a real thorough, methodical inspection that they do.
Yeah. Yeah, and how long have you been doing this, by the way, Kevin?
I've been doing this for 23 years, and I'm a recovering rehab contractor. I did rehabs for 20 years before that, so I pretty well know my way inside and out of single-family residential property. I'm one of the fortunate ones because I'm doing something that I like for a living.
Yeah, very good. Go ahead, Brian.
So go ahead and tell us about the next item on your list.
Okay, the next item on the list is the roof. They're big money here. And they look differently when you get up on top of them than they do from the ground. A couple of the things that investors can look for is a little silver edges on the shingles, on the sides and the bottoms of the shingles, which means that the shingles themselves are aging and they're wearing out. Another thing that you might look at is from the inside, look in the valleys where the roof planes come together. Look for roof penetrations where pipes or vent pipes go through the roof. Look around the chimney inside the attic. What you're looking for is discolored wood. It can be a brownish stain or a black stain, or it can actually be wood that's deteriorated and rotted away. Now, look around the area, see if there's a whole bunch of new roofs there. There may have been a hailstorm, and there might be some recovery, because if the property was insured when the hailstorm came through, the sellers may or may not have taken advantage of making a claim for that.
Yeah. So, and then your last item.
Heating and air conditioning systems. Well, first of all, take a look around the house on the outside and in the attic and see if the equipment is still there. I mean, we live in challenging economic times, and there are some very resourceful people out there. Some people will just come in and vandalize the units. They'll take parts off of the condensing unit, which is the outside part, and some contractors will come up into the house and they will actually harvest the equipment out of there for resale into other houses to work with other people.
Yeah, and by the way, if you decide to do that, go check to make sure it's there. Have a family member bring a camera to videotape your reaction in case it's not, because that'd be great YouTube quality for sure. Right. Anyway, go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah, no condensing unit, no equipment up in the attic. Is the ductwork falling apart? Does the equipment look old? Does it look like it's been there since Truman was in office? Look around. If it's a gas furnace, you'll know if it's a gas furnace or an electric furnace, because the gas furnace has a vent on it that goes up through the roof. And it also has a gas line coming into it. An electric furnace will just have a big wire coming into it. Look around the gas furnaces and see if you can't see any smudge marks, any brown stains, especially around the burner compartment, anything that looks like soot. If you see it, then the equipment is probably going to need to be replaced. And this is another thing. I mean, foundations run several $1,000s to repair. Roofs are the same way. Heating and air conditioning systems, you're looking at about $1,500 a ton to replace them. Minimum would be 3 tons on the average house.
Right, and I think that what we run into a lot is to know the difference between something that's working and something that has any useful life left into it. So at Big State Homebuyers, when we're evaluating an investment property for an investor or buying a property from a seller, we're not only looking to see if it's operational, but to discover how much useful life is left in the roof, AC, or any of that. Kevin, tell us how we can reach you, other than visiting BigStateHomebuyers.com, where we'll have your contact info.
You can reach me at 713-858-1330. That's Kevin Smith at 713-858-1330. I do not charge people for talking on the phone, and I'm glad to take investors' questions. I'm glad to help. If you're out on the property, you see something you don't understand, I want you to call me.
Good stuff. I almost gave you my contact information, but everyone knows where I am. They just catch me every day on the radio. Kevin Smith, thanks so much for being with us. And also, Brian, awesome as usual. Great information, very practical, hands-on content. And by the way, you want to do a shout-out for some of the podcasts and things you have over there at your site?
Absolutely. You can visit our website, BigStateHomebuyers.com. You can find us on iTunes by looking up We Buy Houses or Brian Spitz. All of these recordings and all of some in-house seminars and different things that I teach on are all uploaded into our podcast on Blog Talk Radio and on iTunes. So please check it out. There's a ton of useful information for investors and sellers. BigStateHomebuyers.com.
I do want to mention, by the way, next week I'm attending a big seminar here in the Houston area. It takes place here on next Thursday and Friday at the Reliance Center for Franchisers. I'm going to be doing some coverage from there, taking some video, doing some interviews. Love for you to join us. If you want more information about it, you can go to usdailyreview.com and you can learn more about it. All right, I'm Kevin Price. More for you right after this on The Price of Business.